stuff here on YouTube for the Go Bowling at the Glen. Whatever the number normally is. I think it's normally 225 or something. They just call it the Go Bowling at the Glen. Now they drop the numbers. So we'll go ahead and drop the numbers too. So, we're here for the Go Bowling at the Glen at Watkins Glen International. Welcome on in. And we are getting ready for this one. Hopefully you guys are excited. I know I certainly am. We got ourselves, and yet we got cars already rolling on track. We got Ryan Blaney actually out qualifying SVG, one of the first times all season SVG not going to start on the pole position. Although I'm really hoping that the winner comes from row 3, considering two of my favorite drivers of all time are right there. You've got Kyle Busch and Mike McDowell on row 3. Now, a couple of notes about this race. In the next gen era, throughout the 3 races, so obviously, gonna stress this a lot, small sample size on any of these next gen stats. 3 races, the winner has come from the outside front row 2 of those 3 times. The only one that wasn't was Chris Buescher last year, coming from, I think, 24th place. So, SVG, right there in second. So, and just to give a little bit more fuel to the SVG fire, the winner has come from the top 7 in 17 out of the last 20 races at this racetrack. So, for the last 20 years of Watkins Glen races, the eventual winner has come from that top 7 starting spots. And in the next gen era, that seems to be even more exclusive with so far second place having claimed 2 victories out of the 3 Watkins Glen races. So it'll be a little bit tougher for some of these guys like Reddick, Hamlin, Larson, coming from deep in the field. Another thing to note as we're getting down through this starting grid is that driver of the 87, Connor Zilic, was injured climbing out of his car last night in the NASCAR Xfinity Series race. Connor Zilic picking up win number 6 on the season. Went to climb out of his car, slipped on the window net, and took a scary fall. I don't know if they've officially said what the prognosis is. I've heard a lot of people talking that it looks like similar injuries that they have suffered with broken collarbone, so possibly a fracture or partial break, hopefully, which would mean he'll probably be out for a month. Fingers crossed it'll stay only a month, because obviously the Xfinity Series playoffs are right around the corner. So again, we're all waiting for further confirmation. I won't speculate on an exact timetable, but I've heard people talking that if it is indeed a collarbone fracture, or let's just say it's a fully broken collarbone, the recovery time on that is about 6 weeks. It's about standard, so he would be back in mid to late September, and curiousness would be, obviously, the Xfinity Series playoffs starting with the Xfinity Series playoffs starting, September 12th at Bristol. He'll almost certainly miss at least one of those races, and I'm curious if NASCAR will have him take up a spot, which obviously he's by all means earned the spot. But similar to Kurt Busch and Stuart Friesen, if he is unable to return for the playoffs, do they, still grant him a spot, and does he still take it? And what happens in the hypothetical that he's back, say, in race 2 or 3 of that round? I mean, if he misses 2 races, he'll be so far back on points, he'll basically be in a must-win in October when the 3rd and final race of that round happens at the Charlotte Roval. So, again, none of this is great news, and obviously still thoughts and prayers going out to the Zilic family for a speedy recovery, but as of right now, it definitely puts it'll definitely put a damper on what has been an immensely exciting rookie season for Connor. I mean, he has been one of the most impressive Xfinity Series rookies we've seen since probably honestly, I mean, I think he's even putting on probably more of a more impressive season than what Christopher Bell or William Byron put on. Like, I hate to say this, but over almost a decade ago now. Yikes, that is insane. But yep. So again, we are getting ready for this race. Hopefully, you guys are excited. I know I certainly am. Let's go ahead and skip around to ads, and yeah, let's go ahead and get ready for this one. So they're going through and doing their pass through on pit road again. Ryan Blaney out qualifying SVG. SVG looks human so far this weekend, which again is not a bad thing. But the three, it's weird because the three summer road courses that we had earlier this year, when at Mexico, Sonoma, and Chicago, SVG did not look human in that race. Say all three of those races really out. Maybe the early part of Chicago. I mean, SVG was borderline unchallenged for the other two races at Sonoma and at Mexico for sure. Chicago, McDowell led the entire opening segment before running into some sort of electrical problem that took him out of the race. And then once SVG got the lead, he never really looked back on that one. So, but it is weird that at the first road course of the year, Coda, he looked good but not superhuman. And then now at Watkins Glen, at least in terms of qualifying and practice, he was top 5. He was almost certainly a top 5 car, but I don't think he was the standout head and shoulders above everybody else driver. So maybe we'll actually get to see some real good competition. Obviously, last year we saw Buescher be able to take it to him. Maybe we'll be able to see some more of that this year, but again, it's one of those things that the more experience you give this guy, I think the better he's going to be. And he starts from the outside of the front row, which, again, as we mentioned, has been some good luck the last couple of years. So, lights are off on the pace car. They're coming through the carousel, and we will be ready to go racing here shortly. Hey, Jeffrey, how's it going? Go Alex Bowman. Hey, I would love to see Bowman run well today. He comes from position number 7, so based on the last 20 years, he has a 17 out of he has a 1 in 17 odds type thing, because 17 of the last 20 have come from it. So curious to see, but again, a very slow pace. Man, that pace car is crawling around here. All right, now he's going to take off again. The restart zone has been moved off the main straightaway to give the drivers a little bit more run-up room. Here we go. Entering the restart zone, and it will be green, green, green. Green flag's out. We are back to racing and down through the final corner. Again, it's weird that they have the restart zone a full corner away from the start-finish line here, but here we go. Taking this green flag down into turn 1. Blaney with the preferred track position. SVG down to second. Bunch of people locking up the brakes. Luckily, no major issues through turn 1 here. But now we got SVG already trying to challenge Blaney through the S's on turn 1, or on lap number 1 here. Not able to really get alongside him, but down the back straightaway, heading towards that bus stop. I'm very curious to see how SVG attacks it. He's going to be aggressive here through this one. Chasing Ryan Blaney, not able to get alongside him again, but he's been able to stay incredibly close. Again, it's only the opening lap, but already he is looking like he is ready to take this lead, and if he does, I fear that he may not look back. So here we go, down into turn 6. He is going to through 6 and 7, or at least that's what the numbers they were calling these by. I thought it was weird. So there we go. and completing lap 1, it is going to be Ryan Blaney leading them across the stripe. Mike McDowell up to 5th place already from the start of this one. Kyle Busch in the zone machine, curious to see how he does. Carson Hocevar moved his way from the 8th to the 7th starting position pretty quickly. But yeah, so working lap 2 again. Blaney looking like he might actually be getting a little bit more of a gap between himself and SVG, although that very well could just be a factor of SVG kind of realizing that you can't run 100% for every single lap without something going wrong at this track. So maybe dial it back off the throttle a little bit, hang out in second place, enjoy the fact that you're still a top 5 car, and still probably far and away the favorite. Don't win this race by almost every single person. Yeah, I'm rooting for Michael McDowell to find his way to victory lane here. I'd love to see. I would love to see Michael McDowell get the win. Rams win NFL. What, do the Rams have their preseason game today? I have no idea. Oh, yeah, the Rams beat the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. Yep. So, yeah, good job to the Rams for beating the Dallas Cowboys, and congratulations to that ref for trucking C.D. Lamb. I actually do have my NFL fantasy draft at 6 p.m., so we might end up having to make the first pick or two down the stretch of this stream, assuming, if we have another red flag like we did in the last 2 races here, because both the trucks and I believe trucks and Xfinity both had red flags in their races earlier this weekend. But again, right now SVG doing an incredible job to race around here. Again, he's staying very close to Blaney, which again for NASCAR road racing, it's not very often you see drivers able to follow that closely through these corners, but SVG is making it happen. Off the final corner, down towards the start-finish line, he's going to be second place for the 3rd straight lap to Blaney. But and Kyle Busch takes the fastest lap of the race so far through 3 laps completed. So Kyle Busch, fastest lap award. That's a bonus point at the end of the night if he can hang on to that, although odds of him hanging on to it is probably slim. Alright, so there we go. Again, though, there's a lot of road course drivers, I feel like, that are going to have their eyes set on this race as their chance to try and make the playoffs. Obviously, I've named a few of them already. Michael McDowell, SVG, although SVG already has multiple wins, so he's in. You got Chris Buescher, who's been really good at really good at these road races. AJ Allmendinger, obviously another road ringer, so gonna be quite a few of these drivers, and with only 3 races left till the playoffs, and this being the last road course prior to the playoffs, it's gonna be a tough one to see if they can hang on to try and go for a win. Kyle Busch, this is another good shot for him to try and break his winless streak and make it back to the playoffs for the first time in a few years. He already has. Alright, so there we go. Just double checking some stuff. Here we go. Give me a second here to go ahead and just sync up some stuff. Or as far forward as we can be, so. Alright. So yeah, there we go. Byron, only 2 wins so far this year, Daytona and Iowa. Although he's led the most laps of anybody, leading to over 900 laps on the day or on the year so far. Here we go, heading down. Say this focus on kind of that middle of the pack here. Well, middle of the pack, mid top 10. Yeah, the focus on Bo. Oh, Kyle Larson goes around. Kyle Larson goes around in the runoff area of turn 1. Not sure as to what caused it, but man, that is unfortunate there. All right, so there we go. Uh-oh, if he's got no brakes, that is really not going to be good here. Let's see. Kyle Larson. Oh, yeah, it looked like he kind of just spun on his own there. He definitely had cars behind him, but yeah, no, there was no contact from them, and he just wheel hops it. So, yeah, there we go. Yeah, Kyle Larson just with an uncharacteristic mistake. Alright, so here we go. Ryan Blaney and SVG leading this one through. And Kyle Larson on pit road. Oh my, no. I feel awful for anyone who used Kyle Larson in fantasy. I don't remember if I did. I sincerely hope I saved him for Richmond. I don't remember if I had 1 or 2 uses left on him. But that is going to be a heartbreaker if I did use him. I did. Dang it. Well, I'm definitely saving that use because I'm going to use up my AJ Allmendinger here. Hood up on the 5 car. They're shutting the hood now, so maybe they go pretty quick here, but that is a very interesting time frame here. Let's see. All right, there we go. We got those synced up. All right, there we go. All right, got everything all synced up so I can go ahead and record some clips here, hopefully. Of course, Kyle Larson going out of the race would have been a great thing to have clipped. But Kyle Larson, oh no, is he going to go behind the wall? Oh no. Looks like Kyle Larson behind the wall already. Alright, so there we go. Again, we are under commercial break here. 12 laps to go in this stage. Hopefully you guys are enjoying these race reaction streams. Again, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, so there we go. If you guys do want to see me potentially stream, say I don't know if there would be any interest in me streaming my in me staying live depending on what time this gets over. Staying live as I make my picks for the fantasy football league. But if you guys want to see that, feel free to let me know. If not, no worries. I'm not going to force you guys to watch me and ah over whether I'm going to take Bayshall Tootin or or Brian Thomas Jr. in the first round. And no, I'm probably not taking either one of those guys in the first round. And ironically, I just named 2 Jaguars players. Go Colts. All right, there we go. Again, we are chilling out here. Richmond Saturday night racing next week. Speaking of night stuff, we've got Thursday night football returning. Eagles, Cowboys. September 4th. Definitely looking forward to that. I will absolutely be streaming Eagles Cowboys first game of the season. But yeah, here we go. Ryan Blaney still holding this lead over SVG, and in fact, he's actually grown it to over a full second at this point. Briscoe Chastain battling it out for the third position right behind SVG. And there we go. They're talking with... Oh, hey, look. Zilich is actually at the track. Let's go. Okay, so Zilich, I'm going to say he is in a sling, but I'm going to say he's at the track, which is a massive improvement. Let's go. Love seeing him at least at the track, still supporting his guys, still repping the brands. Very unfortunate that he and the team had to withdraw from this race. Obviously, would never pressure anyone to race or do any kind of sport if they don't feel they're healthy or if they can't safely perform, but does not change the fact that it would have been awesome to see him on track. Hopefully we'll get to see him here next year, probably in a full-time capacity, as he has still not been officially named the replacement of the 99 as Suarez is getting the boot, but I would very much assume that will be Zilich's ride for the taking. 10 laps to go, now 9. 9 laps to go here. Ross Chastain takes the fastest lap award away from Kyle Busch, so now Ross Chastain's going to hold on to the fastest lap award, at least for a little while. All right, well, there we go. August 30th, we got New Mexico versus Michigan for college football. But yeah, most of the positions, I don't feel like there's been a whole lot of changes. I mean, Denny Hamlin dropping back, obviously Kyle Larson with his spin dropping back, but most of these positions, I mean, there are definitely a couple of guys who have moved forward and back, but like, for example, this top, we're out the top 10. The most spots any of the drivers have either gained or lost is 2 spots with Chris Buescher. Everybody else in the top 10 has either stayed the same or dropped back exactly 1 spot. So, and yeah, there we go. Kyle Larson officially listed off, not out of the race, but off course. So he will be multiple laps down when he does return. So there we go. The 26, and I say Denny Hamlin, the 2016 winner of this race. His only career road course win. So, again, I don't think anyone thinks of Hamlin as the guy at the road courses, but this is the one road course that has proven at least some level of usefulness to him. Also, for gaming fans over on the gaming channel, I did finally get it, so I can actually stream and record my Switch 2 gameplay, so... if we have if we do have a red flag, I will be able to go ahead and hop straight into that. But yeah, we are chilling out here. Again, SVG's been able to close it back in, but that gap between himself and Briscoe has absolutely widened into a massive chasm between them. About 2.5, 3 seconds between SVG and the next car behind him in Chase Briscoe. Again, he and Chastain still very close and still fighting it out for that third position, but it is very solidly that they are third and fourth. Same thing, Mike McDowell starting to creep into the picture behind Ross Chastain. Would love to see Mike McDowell maybe be able to make some passes here. Obviously, with 7 laps to go, we got to mention, as per usual, the fact that these drivers are going to be getting close. It's going to be an interesting one to see. Oh, Josh Williams is now SVG spotter. I knew last I knew he was still Blaney's spotter, so we're in the Blaney Logano Penske system. So, all right, he made the move over there. But yeah, so as we get down towards the end of this stage, so you gotta remember the gamesmanship that we will see being played at the end of these stages, where drivers who don't really care about the points will pit and give up points to try and gain track position and a better shot at the end of the race. Now, if I'm SVG, if I'm SVG, I try and win stage 1. I'll sacrifice stage 2 for the to get track position for the race win. But if I'm SVG, I want to at least try and walk out of this race with 1 additional playoff point. And if I can lock up that 1 additional playoff point early because Ryan Blaney opts to come to pit road, then great. If Ryan Blaney stays on track, so if Ryan Blaney stays on track to gain that spot, then there might not be many options. He may have to go ahead and take that one, but we're going to have to wait and see here. All right, so 6 laps to go. 6 more times around this track here. Yeah, William Byron dropping from is the only driver who started top 10. It was no longer in the top 10 as Buscher did pass him earlier. But yeah, it's a fairly cut and dry stage here. Not a lot of changes. Here we go. Ty Gibbs already on pit road. Very early for Ty Gibbs. Not sure what the game plan would be there for that pit stop of Ty Gibbs. Not sure if there was an issue or something, but Ty Gibbs early on the pit box. Early to coming in for that pit stop. Man. And yeah, here comes a decent chunk of the rest of them as they take 4 laps to go. 4 to go. And by decent chunk, apparently, oh, yep, there comes some more of them. The rest of them will all get 1 more shot to come down pit road, but here comes most of them. All right, back from commercial break, we got Briscoe on pit road, 4 tires. Bell also with a 4-tire stop, a 10.4 for Briscoe. Best pit stop of any of them so far. Bo Wallace and Chastain both at 11 seconds. Byron at 11 seconds. So Jones, Cindric also at 11 seconds. Keselowski at 12. Sorry, Eric Jones at 13 seconds. There we go. Oh, Ryan Blaney runs wide here, looking loose. Let's see. Ryan Blaney opts to stay on track. He will have 1 more shot to pit. Alright, so here we go. Here comes McDowell, Kyle Busch coming down pit road. Come on, McDowell. Let's go. Let's see this pit. Let's see this Guido pit stop. Come on. Oh no, Kyle Busch over the corner. No. No. Michael McDowell with a slow stop of 13.9 for Mike McDowell. And yeah, Kyle Busch just overshoots the pit box by a lot there. Alright, so here we go. 3 laps to go. Logano, Allmendinger, Haley, Barry, Dillon, Gilliland, Hamlin, Herbst, the other Dillon, Zane Smith, and Gregson all coming down pit road, all with varying pit stop times. None of them in the 10s, which makes it weird that we did see a couple of them in the 10s a minute or two ago. And here come the leaders. Ryan Blaney, SVG, the front 2 drivers, both coming to pit road here. Chris Buescher going to stay out and assume the lead as he needs every possible point to try and hold off his teammate and to brace for impact on a potential random winner here. So Buescher, Bowman, Priest, all staying out, all desperately needing these points. Chase Elliott stays out as he is trying to take back that regular season championship award. So again, that is who your battle for the race win at the end of the night, or sorry, your battle for the end of the stage win will be. You got Buescher, you got Bowman, you got Priest, Elliott, Nemechek, Stenhouse, the top 6. Those are your 6 drivers who have all opted so far not to pit, but right now it is Buescher's show, and everybody else is just hanging out. Bowman's not too terribly far away. Alright, 2 laps to go. Ooh, 2 laps to go here. Let's see. What do we got? Alright, Chris Buescher coming down through the final 2 corners. Alright, here we go. Chris Buescher takes the white flag. 1 lap to go in stage number 1. 1 lap left for Chris Buescher. He stayed out. He needs these points to try and hold off his teammate Priest, who is breathing down his neck on points, and to potentially help himself against the potential of another surprise winner either today or possibly in a couple of weeks at Daytona. Both places, very viable options for a surprise winner. So Chris Buescher is doing everything he can to ensure himself a shot to at least compete on points here. In the side-by-side, we got Kyle Busch, who, after overdriving his pit stall, is going to be about 4 or 5 spots back of where he was pre-pit stop here. But watching at the front of the field, Chris Buescher just not putting a wheel wrong all afternoon so far. Down the NASCAR chute here towards the final 2 corners. Turns 10 and 11, as they are traditionally named. Say all he has is left is this left-hander and then a right-hander back onto the main straightaway to claim the victory. Stage 1 winner will be Chris Buescher. Nobody else in sight. There he is. We got Bowman and Priest behind him. Chris Buescher, your stage 1 winner. All right, there we go. It is warm here. Alright, I may actually run and grab something real quick, so I'll be right back, guys. Alright, we are almost back, guys. They're coming back from commercial break here shortly. Alright. There we go. I'm gonna try it on level 1. We'll see, 1, how much good it does, and 2, how loud it is on the stream. I will say I like the fact that it's a fairly quiet fan. Alright, so there we go. So following stage 1, only 7 drivers did not pit throughout stage 1. Busher, Bowman, Priest, Elliott, Nemechek, Stenhouse, and Cody Ware are the only drivers who went the entire stage without a pit stop. And again, in most of those situations, I say with 4 of them, I completely understand. I don't really comprehend the plan here for Cody Ware or any of these other drivers who are in must wins. Like Stenhouse, he's in a must win. I get that this is one of his worst chances for it, but there's nothing to be gained by coming home 7th or even 2nd for him. Alright, here we go. Videos. Alright, let's see. Alright, there we go. Hey, Red Zone, how's it going? Alright, there we go. Alright, again, we're still a commercial break. You guys aren't missing anything right now. Currently pacing here, waiting to see what the what's gonna happen with all these other drivers. Alright, so there we go. We got Busher, Bowman, Priest, Elliott. Those four staying out, trying to secure as many points as possible. Again, if there is a new winner, the cut line moves to Busher versus Bowman for the final spot. Those two for it. And if we don't get a new winner, it's Busher versus Priest for it. Now, if we do get an additional new winner, that moves Ryan Priest almost assuredly into a must-win. But, yeah, and if Ryan Priest is one of those new winners, if he is the one and only new winner, let's say next week at Richmond, Priest gets his first win, then that would also move the cut line. So, again, there's a slim opportunity for these guys to try and get them out there. And the two Penske, or sorry, not Penske, the two Roush cars stay out along with Chase Elliott. So 3 drivers opt not to pit throughout the entire stage, including at the stage end. All right, that's different. I would not have predicted that one. Alright, so here we go. Choose cone. That's going to put SVG a little further back, kind of in that hornet's nest that you really, that you probably don't want to end up in, but here we go. Again, we got ourselves a, Alright, yeah, the mic's not, is barely picking up on much, if any, of the hum. Here we go. Green, green, green. Green flag's out. We are back to racing. Busher versus Priest. 2 teammates. 1 spot left in the playoffs for the 2 of them. Again, a very small window that they could both make it. But here we go. Ryan Priest down into turn 1. He's going to get there. Oh, SVG trying to sneak his way up the inside there to try and jump his way to third here. He's got Ryan Blaney stuck on his outside, though. And again, we've seen him lose to Blaney a couple of times. Right now with Ryan Priest as the race leader, if Priest were to win, it'd be Bowman in by 1 point, Busher out by 1 point, and 1 point could make the difference here. And as Busher continues to drop here, and as Bowman starts to move up the grid, that gap will continue to grow. Bowman did come in for tires after after staying out to get the stage point. So there we go. And now SVG looking to try and take this lead from Ryan Priest down into the corner. SVG, his first lead of the day. And I think we are all just a little terrified to know how much SVG will do from the lead now that he has track position. There we go. We got Bell on the back bumper of Michael McDowell trying to make some moves here through the middle of the pack. Yeah, Michael McDowell kind of getting stuck a little bit further back here. He's all the way back in 10th right now. But with drivers kind of going every which way at this point, Michael McDowell makes the pass on Elliott, who has not made a pit stop. He's on older tires here. He's just hoping to, I guess, hang on. I have no idea what his plan necessarily could be. I mean, 90 laps is too far to try and 2-stop it. Actually, I guess if you could theoretically make it, I guess if you can make it 30 laps on your tank of fuel, including the stage laps, you can make it a three stopper. One stop in stage two, one stop in stage three. Could you make it? You might be able to make it a two stopper. And say, I'm curious to see how that plays out here. But yeah, there we go. SVG, Blaney, Briscoe, Chastain, Priest, all making their way up this one. Wait, what's Briscoe doing up there? He wasn't up there before. Oh, hey, I guess he must have had a pretty good pit stop. He did pit a couple laps earlier than SVG and Ryan Blaney. Maybe there was some, maybe he had some actual reasoning to make that kind of move. There we go. Again, 7 laps into this, another short 20-lap stage here. And again, now that Ryan Priest is not leading this one, Priest is 13 points shy of making the playoffs. Because without that win, that does put him in a fairly precarious situation. And as he continues to drop down closer to his teammate, as they have both now fallen out of the top 10, it is now a 16-point gap. And that gap will continue to grow as they continue to drop further and further back. Kyle Larson just came back out on track and set the fastest lap of the day. Well, I guess if you don't have brakes, it makes it a little easier to set a fastest lap of the day, but that is not a thing I expected to happen, although it's happened once already this year. Kyle Larson comes back out on track. He will pick up that fastest lap point. Oh, nice. Went to your local track today. All right, nice. Who do you got winning today? Logic would say SVG. My brain says I want to see Michael McDowell go. Oh, contact in the middle of the pack. Austin Dillon, Tyler Reddick, all tightly packed in here. Say they all keep it going the right direction, but contact there. But my official race win pick was Chase Elliott was my pick on the podcast. Mainly because I got sniped on both SVG and Michael McDowell were the first 2 picks, and then I had picked 3. So I literally just had to take somebody, and I figured I'd go with Mr. Consistency since Elliott. Oh, spin from the 21 of Barry. 21 of Barry goes around, and how is that not going to be a caution? How on earth is that? Well, I guess he didn't destroy the front end like what we saw yesterday with Michael McDowell in that same kind of spot. And there is a lot of runoff room to make something happen there, but here he comes. Chase Elliott making his first pit stop here at lap 29 at the start of 30. So he made his way there. Josh Berry with a flat tire, and yep, there's the caution flag. Great strategy move there by Chase Elliott. I mean, that is an insanely great call. The fact that the caution flag came out is going to work for him. So, yeah, choosing to make his pit stop when he saw the real opportunity for a caution flag. And, yeah, they're going to say that there's going to be tire debris or something down in that short chute to the point where, yep, yellow flag is waving halfway through this stage. All right, but yeah, we are... Oh yeah, there's some sort of actual notable piece of debris there. So let's see, what actually caused this one? And it's like, Ty Dillon was all over the rear bumper of Dillon and got it. Ty Dillon was all over the back bumper of Barry, and that's what ultimately got him squirrely. And then the driver behind finished him off. Not sure. It's one of the front row cars. I think Zane Smith probably. Yeah, that went and finished him off again. All right, there we go. I'm just gonna go ahead and put out the Just went and put out the short clipping the final lap of stage 1 there. But yeah, I'm excited though for football season coming back around. I think football we might be able to generate some momentum with that. Certainly, I think the clipping works a whole lot better for NFL games because I can tell you when a big play is going to come. But with NASCAR and the way cautions work, I mean, until you get to overtime, you really don't know when a specific incident, like for example, I had no way to know that caution was coming out. But yep, yeah, we are chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. You guys are, of course, hit the like button and subscribe if you guys are new. Alright, let's go ahead and do. Alright, there we go. Alright, so there we go. Again, great call. I still am flabbergasted by the great call that the Chase Elliott crew made. I mean, especially because that's a crew that I feel like normally gets a lot of flack for not living up to stuff in the moment, but they handled that one really well there. Alright, so there we go. Ty Gibbs on pit road. As pit road is opened, Ryan Preece coming down as well. Is a lot of these drivers who would all the rest of the drivers who had yet to pit are coming down for sure. Busher, Preece, both going to get their pit stops done here and hopefully start to turn their day around a little bit. Alright, yeah, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Hmm. Alright, so again, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. If you guys are enjoying the stream, feel free to like, subscribe. If you guys are new, so you guys don't miss any future videos. videos or live streams. But yeah, we are chilling out here currently under the commercial break and the caution flag for the Josh Berry spin a moment ago. All right, we should be back, hopefully. All right, there we go. Yeah, we are hopefully back from that brief intermission. I don't know how brief it was because my streaming software decided it wanted to crash midstream. There we go. Elliot, I hope he wins. I hope he wins. He won't the Glen two. Oh yeah, he won the Glen 2 times. Yeah, well, again, that's one of those things you can't win every time. You can win it a lot, but you can't win it every time. Not to mention SVG wasn't in the field either of those other times. He also hasn't won it in the host. Yeah, he hasn't won it in the next gen era yet. Alright, there we go. Everything all synced up again. Alright, we are just chilling out here. It's been a good minute since Chase has won a road course. Yeah, again, he hasn't. Oh, here we go. Mike McDowell coming to pit road nice and early. 5 laps to go in the stage. McDowell getting on pit road when he can get on and off with very little traffic. Justin Haley, his teammate, going to follow him down as well. But yeah. Yeah, again, the big thing for Chase Elliott, though, has just been that the next gen car, he has not adapted nearly as well to the next gen car as people would have hoped. So, that and the emergence of SVG this season, which has made this one really tough. Alright, so 5 laps to go here. Closing in on the end of stage number 2. We'll have this should be a fun one here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, so there we go. Joe Logano coming down pit road along with some of the other Penske cars. The 2 of Austin Cindric going to be one of them. And yeah, we are. Yeah, we're doing pretty good here. Again, Blaney, SVG, Chastain, Briscoe, the top few. Again, very few of these guys end up needing points, so I think they'll all primarily hit. Again, will be the chance for a lot of these guys not in the front 2 to come to pit road. Again, Blaney and maybe even Chastain could pit next time by instead, but oh, here comes SVG and Chastain to pit road. Race leader SVG is going to come to pit road. Chastain, Briscoe. Looks like Bubba Wallace also joining him on pit road. A lot of guys coming down pit road here. Getting their cycle through now. Blaney could come next time by. Byron, I don't know. He might be too far back from Blaney to make that stop next time by. As I say, we definitely have a different group of guys staying out this time around. Let me go ahead and just check my lineup real quick. I assume I'm leaving Larson in there. in most of them, so I just gotta double check my other lineups real quick while we got a chance. Alright, so again, 3 laps to go. We've got 3 laps left before this stage break, before the pit road close, or 3 laps to go in the stage. At the end of this lap, the pit road will close when the leader hits the line. But again, no, Blaney's gonna stay on track and he's gonna close the pits. He is not gonna leave a gap for anybody else to try and sneak down there. So looking at how close Byron was, he might have been close enough to try and make that dive on his own. But yeah, there we go. Pit road is closed. Alright, so 2 laps to go here. Everybody's trying to make these cycles happen. Again, I'm kind of surprised how many cup drivers, how many of the full-time cup drivers that have wins or stayed out, kind of muddying Bowman's good point stay that he was trying to have by staying out here again. All right, so here we go. Final lap of stage number 2. Last lap here. Byron chasing down Blaney here. Blaney, a 3-second lead. I'm just going to go ahead and quickly fix these lineups because, again, I started a lot of Kyle Larson. And the ones that I still had a lot of Larson left to use. Right, that one I'm going to bench Hocevar because Hocevar is not. I don't trust Hocevar to finish it out as well as some of these other ones. But again, yeah, Blaney's got this one on lock here. I thought for a second I saw it was crashed again, which would have been no fun. We got 2 laps. We got 2 corners to go. Caution flag flies. The 42 is destroyed here on the final lap of stage 2 at Watkins Glen. That is unfortunate. And Larson's already in the garage on that one, and I got one more lineup that I'm going to try and check before I get locked out. There we go. And moving Busher up over Briscoe. And boom. Alright, rosters are fixed as best I can do. And, man, and yeah, wow. That's going to be a lengthy cleanup there. I say I would not be shocked. I wouldn't be overly shocked if they throw a red here for that one, because that is a lot of messes. No, the 42 and Nemechek just went tail into a tire barrier there. All right, so there we go. Again, we are chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. I say, if we do get a red flag again, I finally have it set up where I can actually stream Nintendo Switch consistently. So, if we do get a chance, we'll go ahead and put up some Mario Kart or Pokemon, depending on what you guys want to see. Feel free to let me know if you guys have a preference one over the other. But again, I'm anticipating that there could be a red flag for that one. I'm not by any means guaranteeing a red flag. And we will not be switching over to that before this thing happens. So there we go. Alright, so there we go. One other thing I want to touch on just briefly here. I did see that at Bowman Gray Stadium I think it was either last night or the night before, one of their drivers had a heart attack on the restart, and it ended up going up into the outside wall, and ultimately passed away. Just thoughts and prayers going out to his family. His name was, what was the name? Robbie Brewer. Again, you hate to see that. It is just kind of one of those things that unfortunately does sometimes happen. Yeah, I mean, we've seen it in the past, like the whole Damar Hamlin situation. These types of things can happen out of absolutely nowhere. Yeah, and say they can happen to athletes just as they can happen to you or me when we're driving down the highway. And all right, here's the replay. Ooh, wait, who was that booted the 42? I hadn't seen that angle yet. Was that Ty Gibbs or was that Nemeth? Was that Ty Gibbs? No, Gibbs was nowhere near that, right? Well, Riley Herbst is way up there too, so it very well could have been one of the two. I think that might have been Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs may have just completely booted. Alright, so there we go. Pit road is open. And here come the drivers who, here come some of the drivers who did not pit into that previous stage. AJ Allmendinger coming down. Again, unless you think you can get to like 35 laps to go, which wouldn't be an incredible fuel save, but you'd have to make it a decent chunk here, especially for the drivers who their last pit stop was before the end of stage 1. It would be a very big stretch, so here we go. AJ Allmendinger, Keselowski coming out of the pits. Well, we are chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. I am kind of surprised that they didn't have to red flag that to preserve laps. Hopefully, they don't burn too many laps while waiting this one out. But here we go. pack I was trying to grab. Alright. Yeah, you know, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. Say, if you guys want to go ahead and let me know what you guys would like to hear me talk about. If you guys would like to hear me talk about anything specific, that way I can do more than just talk about things I want to talk about. But yeah, we are just chilling out here, waiting to see what the see what's going to come of all this. Again, Ryan Blaney currently the race leader. Okay. I'm gonna have to wait and see if this rotates around, because this does not look very up to date. Cause it's kind of hard to believe it. Well, I guess if Blaney didn't pit in that last stage, yeah, it makes sense. If he thinks he can make it the distance as a two-stopper. Again, I don't think a two-stopper is the right strategy call, but hey, if they can make it happen, they can make it happen. Alright. Again, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, here we go. Back from commercial break here. Alright, let's see. What do we got? We got Blaney, Bowman, some of the highest point earners on the day. Some of the drivers who picked up points in both stage 1 and 2. So if you're if you are playing the NASCAR fantasy game, that's what you like to see out of your drivers. You like to see getting multiple. You like to see getting multiple. Yeah, stage points in both stages usually adds up to more than what you would have gotten if they just win one stage and disappoint in the other. All right. Alright, here we go. Lights are off on the pace car. We are ready to go back racing. Again, so far, the laps on tires, you got Blaney at 26, Byron Bell at 28, Bowman at 22. Everybody else is on 14 or less laps on their tires. And again, lights are off on the pace car. We will be getting ready to go back racing. Alright, so here we go. Pace car is off. Field in the hands of Byron and Blaney. Let's go racing, boys. Green, green, green. Green flag's out. And here we go. I say fairly well organized there through the restart zone. And down 3 wide as they're getting to the front straightaway and the start finish line. Ty Gibbs 3 wide up the middle, or 3 wide on the bottom here. Everybody trying to jockey for positions here. Couple of brake lockups, but they all keep it going the right direction here as we're going to be crossing halfway this time. Halfway this time. Cross flags will be out. So there we go. Again, this race is official, although there's no rain in the forecast, so we're going to be going the distance regardless. Daniel Suarez making some good runs up through the field. He's up into the top 10 right now. He's actually ahead of teammate SVG. He can potentially get a win here. That would be incredible for his job market. Because again, right now he is currently, I think, the only driver that's really on the out at his team, and the only way I see him getting another ride is if he proves he is a better option than people who are currently under contract, and you have to be a significant amount better than that. Oh, Kyle Busch goes around! No! Kyle Busch goes around right in front of the field, gets tagged in the corner, and he's going to keep it going, but that is not good. But yeah, so again, as I was saying though, ooh, and we got more brake lockups there into turn 1. But yeah, as I was saying, the job market for Suarez is really really small here. The only real opportunities he's going to have are going to be teams who think he is a clear improvement over the guy they currently have on contract to the point where they're willing to pay to get out of that contract. And yeah, it looks like, I don't know. I can't tell if Kyle Busch lost that one or if Denny Hamlin went and hit him. Let's see. Yeah, and that onboard camera did nothing for it, for defining that one. We need like the 11's onboard camera, and we need it before the corner, because yeah, he definitely was not touching Busch when Busch spun. But you can also push the guy a couple seconds earlier back off and be like, well, I wasn't touching him when he fell. I just touched him shortly before he fell. Complete coinky dink that shortly after I made contact with him, he fell. I wasn't making contact with him as he fell. I'm not the reason he fell. Totally not. Yep. All right, so again, right now, Alex Bowman holding on to that third place position here. He's got Bell breathing down his neck here. Again, no wins through the first, through these races, but through the first 15, was leading more laps, but not finishing races. These last 8 races, an average finish much better here. Again, if these drivers want to really, if they want to really catapult themselves into a good range to make it to the end of the race, they're going to need to make it to at least lap 55, 60, something like that, if they really want to have a shot at being able to make this on only one more stop. And for these drivers who have stayed out right now on 30 lap old tires, I don't know that they're going to be able to pull that off. And right now, SVG, the top driver, currently not on 30 lap tires. Well, Bowman's are only 26, but still. Point still stands. SVG's 11 lap tires are going to be significantly better than the 25 to 30 lap tires on the rest of the field in front of him. Alright. So again, we are chilling here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Also means a gaming channel video. I can actually start making videos for the gaming channel again. Alright, so 49 laps in. We are coming up on lap 50 here in the race. And I say this might be one of the fastest NASCAR races I think I remember in a long time here. So again, their fuel percentages here are showing about 15% left on fuel for most of the leaders. SVG having made his pass all the way up to third place now. All he's got is Byron and Blaney in front of him, both at 18 and 12% on the fuel percentages. Obviously, we've seen in the past those numbers being a little bit inaccurate, so we'll have to wait and see if that remains true today, as it drops down to now 9 and 15 for those two. 9 on Byron, 15 on Blaney. Bell also at 9% fuel remaining. But again, I'm curious as to how accurate those numbers are, because sometimes I feel like they are they'll be showing like 0%, but then the guy will go 3 more laps. That's like, okay, how do you have 3 laps on empty? Alright, so again, right now, Blaney with a 1.5 second lead over Byron. He's actually managing a pretty sizable gap here. And you have, behind Byron, you've got about another second and a half back to SVG before you really end up in trouble. And then Bowman in fourth, all the way back through, like. There we go. Yeah. 51 laps in. So across the lap 50 mark, we're getting towards that 51, 52, say 55 lap mark, which is where I think they would need to get to in order to convert this to a 2 stopper here as they go side by side commercial break. Alright, so yeah, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, just realized I've not been checking chat. Okay, nope, we haven't missed anything. Alright, so there we go. Oh, there goes Tyler Reddick, 3 wide on Chase Elliott and Chase Briscoe. And he clears them both entering the inner loop there, the bus stop. And as I say, Kyle Busch kicking up some dust. I'm surprised Kyle Busch didn't have to come to pit road after how badly he and the 11 collided there. Certainly not in any kind of position that you want him in, but there you go. Byron doing good so far. Yeah, he's up there mostly on fuel mileage right now. His last pit stop coming all the way back at lap 15. Yeah, almost 40 laps ago now. But yeah, Byron's been able to save fuel pretty effectively. SVG's made his charge through the field. He's basically the only driver who's been able to charge through. Because Priest and the other guys following him were not able to follow. Alright, so there we go. Again, we are chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Alright, there we go. And they're coming back from the commercial break here. I'm hoping McDowell can kind of improve in this second half because he's kind of just been there in the first half. I'm hoping that changes in the second because so far I have not really seen race winning anything out of McDowell today, unfortunately. And, oh, there, as I say, Mike McDowell spun his teammate of Carson Osvar out earlier. All right, here we go. SCG has caught the back bumper of Blaney. Again, Blaney, as I say, has not pit in a long while, and yeah, SCG just able to breeze right on by him. All right, so there we go. All right, yeah, right now we're just chilling out here. And yeah, here comes Priest coming to pit road along with a couple of others. Again, Ryan Priest, Chris Buescher, both making it to lap 55, making it to lap 35 to go. That is that magic number I was talking about earlier. So there we go. Priest, Buescher, Reddick, and Dillon all coming down for pit stops on this same lap here. Yeah, right now, Blaney, Byron, Bell, those three are all going to be extremely low. Alright, so there we go. Again, right now, Blaney making a pretty good charge through this field, and he's made it last quite a while. Like we dialed back up into the top 10. Let's go. So when the pit cycle, Alright, so here we go. Byron coming down pit road, Bubba Wallace, Gilliland, Bush, all coming down onto the pit lane. Byron with a fairly decent stop. Bubba Wallace a very quick stop. But yeah, right now though, SVG has a massive lead over everybody else, and once Blaney comes to pit road, that's gonna be even bigger here because Christopher Bell not even in the same league as SVG right now. And there goes Blaney coming to pit road, and that is gonna put this lead at about 9 to 10 seconds here. Alright, so there we go. Alright, so here comes Blaney coming down pit road. SVG now has a 9 to 10 second lead here over the field. Alright, so there we go. Bell, or sorry, not Bell. Blaney and Dylan both getting their pit stops done. Cole Custer still in his pit stop. But yeah, Bell 10.5 seconds off the pace of SVG here. Alright, here we go. Come on. Again, this race has been clean and green, which is nice. We're making a lot of progress through it. We're only an hour and a half in, and we're already working. We're already coming up on 30 laps to go. But yeah, I'm gonna have to run and use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, we are back and we are ready for this one. Let's see. Just need some airflow going. Here we go. Bell coming to pit road, Bowman coming to pit road again. A lot of these drivers managing to stretch these things significantly further than they should. Which is just insane that they're pulling this off. Alright, so here we go again. A lot of these pit stops have occurred now. You got guys like Allmendinger and McDowell up in the top 10. Let's go. We got Cindric Chastain near the front, but we also have a 17-second gap between SVG and the rest of the field. What on earth is going on? A 17, now 18-second lead, and here comes Gibbs to pit road. Gibbs coming to pit road. All right, so Ty Gibbs coming to pit road here, along with Riley Herbst, the two monster cars synchronizing with each other. And I say, it looks a little slow on the Ty Gibbs crew. Not sure as to exactly what the cause of that one being slower was, but it was for sure slower. Yeah, whatever this is, it is taking a while here. Ty Gibbs still on pit road. Oh, no, sorry. I guess they were just showing a replay of him still. Back when he was stuck on pit road there for a little longer than normal. Still not good, but a little better than it could have been, I guess. And now it's going to come down to how on earth the strategy for SVG works at this point. Because, again, 18-second lead over most of the field. A fully stationary pit stop, you're usually fully stationary for about 11, 12 seconds. So, I mean, he wouldn't even lose top spot just on that. Now, obviously, the difference in speed coming down pit road, I think all that comes out to about a 40-second gap there on coming down pit road, making the pit stop, and getting back out there. But currently, William Byron in 20th, the first driver on fresh, on fresh tires. So I'm curious to see how that ends up going. All right, yeah, we are chilling here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. But yeah, SVG is just putting a absolute shellacking on the front of the field here. And I'm saying that is a big thing for SVG is the fact that he can manage to maintain this kind of pace, this far into a run is a big part of what makes him so good at finishing these road course races off. Because, like as we mentioned earlier, he was not the fastest car in qualifying or practice. This week he was good, but not superhuman levels, and now he's 19 seconds out ahead of Ross Chastain as of the last time they crossed start finish line. All right, so 28 laps to go. 28 to go here. But yeah, this race definitely on a much faster pace than any other Cup race to this point. Yeah, here comes SVG coming down pit road for his final stop of the day. I'm curious to see how he ends up doing here. All right, here we go. SVG in his pit box for almost 12 seconds. Chastain coming down now. All right, so Chastain, Hamlin also coming to pit road. That hands the lead to Briscoe, Cindric, Keselowski, Allmendinger up into the top few. Again, the question is, who's going to be that first driver who can make it on fuel? Because again, if we're assuming, all right, let's assume something here. All right, let's assume that you can make it, let's say, 40 laps on a tank of fuel. I don't know that you can, but let's say you can make it on 40 laps. You would have needed to have made your final pit stop within, so you'd need to have made your final pit stop at lap 50 or later if you can make it on 40 laps of fuel. Now, if you can't make it on that, you'll need to definitely be in the 50s. So let's look for the first person who we can see on track in the 50s here. for last pit lap. Here comes Allmendinger, Larson, and Cody Ware to pit road. Yeah, so SVG, Byron, and Blaney, the first three in position that I think can legitimately make it from their last pit lap. We are literally on pace for probably one of the fastest Cup Series races I can remember. I mean, I don't remember the last time a NASCAR race went under 2 hours. We may legitimately be in and out of here in under 2 hours. You know, I'm God. Does that? I know everybody talks about wanting these races to be shorter. I don't know. I feel like we barely have started. Like, I'm used to this being about the point where we're talking about okay, stage 2 recently wrapped up, and we're like entering that final half of the race, not entering the final 30 to 20%. And here comes Cindric down pit road. Austin Cindric, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. both on pit road here. And SVG re-enters the top 10. And again, he has only about a half-second lead over Byron. If Byron can stick on him here, that, again, that might be enough for Byron to try and hang tough here. All right, so there we go. 25 laps to go. 25 to go here. But yeah, it's really going to be an interesting battle here. Again, you're gonna have to be limited as to who you're. All right, let's see. Pagano, Yaley, and Hocevar all on pit road. Yeah, I feel like a lot of these drivers are just going to end up being afterthoughts here. Unless we get a caution flag, I don't see how guys like McDowell, Nemechek, or any of these other guys are going to end up being relevant down the stretch because they're too far out to make it on fuel, I would assume. Yeah, if they're too far out to make it on fuel. Oh, I thought it was about to be Daniel Suarez. Oh yeah, Daniel Suarez just door checks the Ada Kyle Busch and sends him through the dirt. Okay, and that was off of Daniel Suarez getting off in the dirt himself. All right, so probably not intentional, but man, that was unfortunate for Kyle Busch. And another incident there. Kyle Busch already having a little bit of a rougher day than you would like to see out of him. All right, well, we are chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. All right, so 22 laps to go. Again, I think we're just creeping towards either an SVG win or an overtime caution period, an overtime caution fest that would potentially end this thing. Alright, so again, we got Blaney as one of the ones to watch. Again, if we get a restart, maybe, but right now I think it's really just kind of the SVG show. Otherwise, Busher could definitely make it to the end of this one. Here comes Briscoe to pit road. Now it's just Keselowski holding SVG back from leading this thing. Mike McDowell hits pit road. Briscoe hitting pit road. Come on, caution flag now. Caution flag now. Come on. Someone, something, happen. Alright, 21 laps to go here. Let's see. Alright, 20 laps left. Let's go. Alright, let's see. What do we got? Again, Keselowski's actually managing to make this one happen here pretty well. Alright, let's see. Again, right now we got Brad Keselowski, SVG, Byron. Byron, though, has lost almost a full second between himself and SVG. Again, you had to stay close to him. You still kind of have to. That's got to be the priority for William Byron is stay very close to SVG, because if you let SVG get breathing room, he will take off flying down the stretch here. Yeah, we're getting ready for the. So we got under 20 to go here. All right, 19 laps to go here. All right, there we go. Again, we're at another side-by-side commercial here. Just kind of waiting through this one. Again, it hasn't been, as I say, it's been an incredibly quick race, but it really just so far down the stretch, once SVG got, I feel like once SVG got control of the lead. Oh, someone smoked some tires there. Not sure if they spun, and based on the fact the camera didn't pan to them, I'm guessing they were fine. But man. But yeah, again, most of this has just felt like SVG's kind of just been parading around here waiting for this one to happen. Again, he's currently got a 1.2. He had a 1.2 second lead at the line last time by over William Byron. 18 laps to go. SVG put on a very impressive performance here. And I say one of the most impressive rookie seasons in recent memory. Although, of course, the tracks that he's been winning at have been the tracks he was brought in to win. But I mean, even when you compare him to other road course aces like Juan Pablo or some of these other ones, he has had another year the entire time. Just completely untouchable compared to some of these other road course guys who have struggled coming over here. All right, so there we go. We are chilling here. Let's see. Ooh, there's a bit of contact there between Bowman and Chastain. Uh-oh. Please tell me that that's not this crashing. Oh, or error occurred while recording. Okay. Well, I wasn't even really trying to record there. Alright, there we go. I don't know what error did occur, but everything looks good on my end. And here we go. Brad Keselowski pits. We're now going to have a true representation between Byron and SVG because that is the battle for the lead now. The fact that Blaney got 35 laps out front, though, I mean, he was able to control the front, but it just seems like track position plus SVG's skill set just leads to him being untouchable on these long runs. Again, if we get a short run or if we get a late caution here, we could very well have a interesting battle down the checkers here. But Byron just lost a spot to SVG here. Oh, and there we go. They got Joey Hand, the driver's coach for the RFK guys. Yeah, he was driving the Stage 60 car last year. This year, that car turned full time with Ryan Preece, meant that there were less opportunities, if any, for him to start some of these races. But he's apparently taken up the mantle as the driver coach for the Ford development group. Yeah, specifically the RFK guys. So good on him. And now we're going to get to finally see that pass on Buescher. And oh, wow, Buescher just easing past the 24 of Byron. Alright, so again, 15 laps to go. 15 more times around here. Alright, so again, it's all going to be about whether or not, and for the second year in a row, it's down to Buescher and SVG. Buescher and SVG was the battle 1 year ago. 1 year ago, driving the 16 car versus the 17 car of Buescher. SVG ran a little wide in the bus stop. Yes, they had some issues holding them off, and ultimately it came down to SVG just not having the momentum to make a move. Yeah, there we go. And again, if Chris Buescher can pull that off, he will secure himself a spot in the playoffs, and there will be no more points race. So you won't have to worry about points the rest of the next 2 weeks. Because once we get to Darlington, he'll probably be right back on the points bubble. But at least for 2 weeks, he'll be able to rest easy and root for his teammates to potentially also win races to get into the playoffs. But yeah, SVG, though, absolutely just crushing it when it comes to these laps. A minute 13.5. I'm gonna say fastest laps of the day. 1:13.2 for Larson, 1:13.4 for Chastain, 1:13.5 for Van Gisbergen, and 1:13.5 1-6 there for Kyle Busch. All the way back at lap 2. Kyle Busch set his best lap of the day. Okay, so 13 laps to go. Again, we are working our way through this one. Hopefully, you guys are still enjoying this stream. Again, it's really weird because it's like, okay, it has really just been a complete domination show here, and we now have a 3-second lead for SVG, and barring a caution, I don't really see that gap getting too much smaller, considering over the last 5 laps it's gained in size, if anything. Alright, there we go. So Byron, Busher, the two drivers in second and third right now. Neither one have actually led a lap yet. Oh, no, Busher did lead 5 laps earlier today. I was going to say, neither one of them has actually led a lap yet today. Alright, so here we go. Blaney making his, Blaney trying to make his charge. He's currently in the 4th position, but he's way too far back to, again, all of these drivers are so far back at SVG. SVG just too smooth, too simple here on the run. I'm curious to know how my lineup's doing, because I think my lineup should be halfway decent. The only bad one might be Kyle Busch and McDowell. Might be the two ones holding my lineup back. Let's see. Yeah, so Michael McDowell in 33rd, holding mine back. Oh, sorry, McDowell in 29th is the really the only one holding me back. I didn't actually go Kyle Busch. Okay. For some reason, I thought I did. Maybe I went him in a different lineup where I didn't go McDowell or something. But yeah, McDowell really the only one holding me back, and if we can get a restart, he might have a shot at a better finish. I will take it. So yeah, so we got 1, 3, 4. I didn't go Busher for too many lineups because I didn't have a whole lot of confidence in him. Alright, so again, a nearly 4-second lead here between the front, or 3.5-second lead between the top two drivers here. Let's see. Just gonna check on the NFL preseason games, see how any of them are going. Oh, let's say we might be getting overtime in a preseason game. Do they even do that, or do they just automatically count it a tie if there's a tie in a preseason game? Because right now, Bears and Dolphins are tied at 24 apiece. Austin Dillon and Briscoe mixing it up a little bit there, right at the edge of the top 10. So there we go. 10 laps to go. They just went through the top 10 drivers, and we are again just going to be waiting to see what's going to happen down these final 10 laps. Hard to see this going too much differently. Then we got Saints Chargers, which should be starting momentarily. Then the next set of preseason games aren't until next Friday. Next Friday we've got Titans, Falcons, Chiefs, Seahawks, Packers, Colts on Saturday at noon/1, depending on your time zone. I'm not going to be home from work, and of course, it's a game I would actually be interested in streaming. There's also a NASCAR Cup race that night, so maybe it's best I'm not gonna be streaming two things at the same time, or the same day at least. But yeah, we are chilling here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. So again, right now, 9 laps to go. SVG continuing to just expand that gap between himself, Busher, and Byron. Yeah, this one is probably pretty close to over. We got John Hunter Nemechek slow down the back straightaway and off line. I'm not sure what happened to him, but and he merges right back in front of Michael McDowell. Come on, man. You have to merge right back in front of my guy. Like, come on, you could have merged one car further back and gotten in the way of Kyle Larson and had way more fans mad at you rather than just me. But yeah, whatever it is, Nemechek's car just has not been the same ever since the collision at the all the way back in turn 5. And yeah, there we go. Now he's getting in the 5 car's way as he's pulling the pit road. Yeah, he knew he was coming to pit road, but was still putting some pretty big blocks there. Next weekend we have no Xfinity Series. We got trucks on Friday night and Xfinity on Saturday night. Trucks, that is probably going to be a TBD. We'll see what I want to do in terms of local dirt track at Unity or Crash and Truck Series here. Probably will, say, real in-person racing will probably take precedent, but let's see. Ooh, okay. So the 24, so the 42 got spun out there, and managed to hang on and save it. So, but he did still have damage from the previous caution, so it's very possible steering just wasn't cooperating too well. Or maybe the steering was operating perfectly, and he wanted to be it. And he wanted to do all that. All right. All right. So again, right now, 6.5 seconds is the gap to Busher. That is just insane that SVG can put this kind of walloping on the field. And again, at this point, we're just waving up all the road courses to him. And if he can survive that first round of playoffs, which with the amount of playoff points he's going to have, he'll have a shot at it. The Roval in round 2 is going to be interesting to watch. That's for sure. If he can do this kind of thing at the Roval next week, or not next week, but in the in the playoffs, that'll be interesting because again, he would have to survive a round of all ovals first, but he is dominating here. Oh no! Brad Keselowski, either an engine or a tire going down there. He does get it back to pit road, so no, there won't be a tire carcass on track or anything. So unless there's a lot of other debris which we didn't really see from that car. Alright, so there we go. Again, They're going to go ahead and take some time, fix up Keselowski's car, but he is done for the day essentially anyway. 5 laps to go. We just got the 5-lap SVG parade remaining. And I say, barring a caution, this is going to be SVG's parade to the checkers. A 7-second lead over Buescher. Most consecutive road course race wins. Jeff Gordon at 6, Chase Elliott at 4, SVG currently at 3, looking to say only a couple laps away from hitting number 4. And you got Tony Stewart, Rusty Wallace, Tim Richmond, David Pearson all at 3. So definitely interesting to see how good SVG is as a road racer already. I mean, he is just crushing it today. And again, SVG has just been so good at all these road courses with very little experience. I mean, Sonoma is a track that these Cup drivers, especially the ones with a decade of Cup experience, have dozens of races at. Here we go. 4 laps to go. 4 laps left here in the SVG parade. Yeah, we've got ourselves, again, about a almost 8-second gap between Buescher and the rest of the field. Buescher has been able to extend his gap to teammate Ryan Preece for that final cut spot. So if there is no surprise winner at, say, Daytona or Richmond next week, Buescher does look like he's in a pretty good spot to rein in what Preece has done, because Preece cut that gap a ton last week at Iowa, and is probably looking to do the same thing at Richmond next week. But maybe you're able to extend it here at Watkins Glen, and hopefully you can hang on at Daytona. Although Daytona seems to be way rougher to Ryan's than it is to Chris's. Three laps to go now. Two laps to go here. Come on. They already had picked SVG's lap. SVG though, a 9-second lead for SVG over the field. Yeah, Christopher Bell making his way up to the field. He's up to 3rd place here. Yeah, I mean, Bell's been making for Bell to have gotten up here, he's been making passes and has to have had some impressive runs, but the broadcast has been awful. The broadcast has been focused on SVG the entire time, which I get it. He's doing something great. But Bell to make it from wherever he was to wherever he is now, up in 3rd place, I mean, that is an incredible run. We couldn't have focused on any of that action? So yeah, here we go. 2 laps to go. If we were gonna see a caution, this would have to be the lap. But I don't know if we're gonna see one here. We may legit. Although we're on pace for a NASCAR race almost under 2 hours. We did just cross the 2-hour mark. Yeah, here we go. Alright, so there we go. Yeah, SVG is going to take the white flag. 1 lap to go, and that is the rest of the field waving the white flag and surrendering here. And say the rest of the field all waving this white flag, surrendering this one because it is over. SVG, all he needs to do is find his way back around to avoid being the crash that ends the race, and he'll be fine. Balicki, Legg, and Yaley, the 3 drivers off the lead lap. And yeah, as per usual, we'll go through the full finishing order, but man, this has been a very short stream and a very short race, honestly. Just the lack of the lack of yellows and the lack of the lack of yellows being the big thing. But yeah, SVG just playing this one perfectly, driving like a maniac here, and down into turn 6 and 7 here for the last time. Shane Van Gisbergen, for the last time in the regular season, is a NASCAR winner on a road course 4 races in a row for SVG. Can he make it 5 when we get to the playoffs at the Roval? But yeah, SVG first, second place. Here comes Christopher Bell now a whole 11 seconds later. Christopher Bell second, third, Chris Buescher. Fourth will be Byron. Fifth, Blaney. Oh no, fifth is taken by... Are you kidding me? Again, I get it. The guy's already doing his burnout. But Briscoe takes the fifth from Blaney at the last possible second. Come on! Blaney, 6th, 7th, Suarez, 8th, Bubba Wallace, 9th, Reddick, and running out the top 10 will be Ross Chastain. What on earth was this TV broadcast? I mean, I'm usually a big fan of NBC, and I love Lee Diffie in the booth. Yeah, which is why I don't blame you if you don't want to listen to me talk about it, because he is that much better, but no. Alright, so there we go. Where did Elliott finish? Alright, Elliott finished quite a ways down, but... Alright, I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm just gonna go ahead and hide away the leaderboard. I apologize. No, we'll leave whatever this is up. No, but yeah, it's not showing us the right thing, so we'll have to just go ahead and I'll have to go off my phone. So we already went through the top 10 finishers. We'll go through them real quick. SVG first. As we mentioned, 4 race wins now in his rookie season. All 4 of them coming on road courses from June to now August. Bell, Buescher, Byron, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Briscoe coming home in 5th. So 4 B names right behind him. And Ryan Blaney makes 5 B names right behind SVG. Suarez, Bubba Wallace, Reddick. Reddick came home in the top 10. I did not realize Reddick came home in the top 10 there. Chastain running at your top 10. Allmendinger 11th. 12th was Jones. 13th, Ryan Preece. 14th, Logano. 15th, Austin Dillon. 16th, Austin Cindric. We had Zane Smith, 17th. 18th for Carson Hocevar. 19th, Michael McDowell. 20th, Alex Bowman. Noah Gragson coming home 21st. 22nd for Kyle Busch. 23rd, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 24th, we've got Riley Herbst. And running out the top 25 will be Denny Hamlin. Chase Elliott coming home 26th. Of course, my safe pick had to drop that far. Justin Haley, 27th. 28th, Todd Gilliland. 29th, Cody Ware. And running out the top 30 will be Ty Dillon. Brad Keselowski in 31st. 32nd for John Hunter Nemechek. 33rd for Ty Gibbs. 34th, Cole Custer. And running out your 35 lead lap finishers is Josh Berry. Then, as we mentioned, Catherine Legg in 36th, 1 lap down. Bullocky 1 lap down in 37th. JJ Yaley 1 lap down in 38th. And Kyle Larson with the fastest lap of the day comes home 39th and dead last on the leaderboard. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this stream up, and then I'm going to go get ready for my fantasy football draft. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys did enjoy this live stream, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new, so you guys don't miss any future videos or live streams. We've been doing these for a couple of years now, and hopefully we're getting better as we're going along. But until next time, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and we will see you guys next video, live stream, whatever you guys got to do with the rest of your day. Have a great day, everybody, and goodbye!